Well, one of the main reasons is because the organization she started almost 104 years ago is still going strong in the city of Baltimore and throughout different counties in Maryland. And I thought it was very important that her legacy be preserved as we continue to go on and on. We celebrated our centennial a few years ago. We definitely wanted to make sure people knew what her work and what her legacy was for the
What do
city.
you think is exactly her specific aspect of her legacy?
I think empowering women to give back to the community. We have women who are stay-at-home moms, attorneys such as myself, professors, nurses, teachers, doctors, but the fact that we're still doing things professionally and willing to give back to the community to make it a better place for all of us and for generations to come.
In the early days, what were some of the activities that she and the rest of the group were involved in?
Oh, the women's suffrage movement was a really big one at the time. And after that, there were different opportunities for voting rights for women that continued, speaking out about the importance of professionalism for women. Education was a huge issue. John Hopkins has a room that's named after her, and she was a lover of literature and all kinds of the arts. And it's been a tradition of ours to continue. The Baltimore Junior League had POPs, which was a nice performance fundraiser that they did for years and years. The Flower Mart, which is a very popular Baltimore institution, was started by the Junior League.
Oh, I didn't know that.
The Maryland School for the Blind, domestic violence legislation that's been passed. So her legacy of standing up for women and for children in the community continues to this day.
That's amazing. You mentioned that in your role as of the current president, you also were inspired by another organization that you belong to.
Yes, I'm actually a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated.
Welcome to Herstory. I'm the Executive Director of the Maryland Women's Heritage Center, and today my special guest is Dr. Rita Robinson. Dr. Robinson has had a very long history in terms of women's issues, education, and educational equity. So we're thrilled to have you here today, Dr. Robinson.
Thank you. As an educator, I guess I was always interested in teaching. That's my basic love. I love to teach. Diana, doing a lot with diversity training, and really what does that mean when we talk about diversity? So many of my clients that I've worked with are in working situations and they look at each other and they're not being very successful. So how do we help people to understand people who look different, who talk different, who maybe act different, and to understand that the difference may not or does not have to mean that it's something wrong.
So please tell me how you got into this career. Tell me about yourself as it relates to your military career and your leadership in the military.
Absolutely. So I never intended on joining the military when I was growing up. I really didn't know a lot about the military. And what got me into this is that I happened to be working in the mall in Frederick, Maryland. And at the time I was homeless. So I was kind of sleeping here and there. I had already quit school and because I was trying to take care of myself.
How old were you then, may I ask?
I was 16 at the time, and I happened to run across a Maryland National Guard recruiting booth, and I started talking to them. I don't know what made me stop, but it was just one of those things. And the next thing I knew is that I was taking the test and signing.
So tell us a little about your mom, and we're sorry that she can't be here with us today.
Yes, so am I.
Yes.
Very much so. Well, there's so much to say about my mom. There, in terms of just qualities, her warmth, her ability to connect with other people, her intelligence, her strength. She was a fighter. But she was kind and was no pushover. Grew up on the Navajo reservation, although she was not Navajo, and she grew up living all over the world, so she had a perspective going into life that was a little different.
I just became very active in PTA, which back in those days was a very active group. I had 4 kids in school.
When you were involved early on with the PTAs, what were some of the school system issues that you were dealing with?
Well, the one that received the most attention in the press and public discussion was school desegregation, but there were many others. There was an issue about how far handicapped children had to travel to get to their classrooms
This is
and
special ed legislation then?
Yeah.
Right, right. You still got desegregation in Prince George's County, which is good.
yeah,
Good.
but it did not, it should have happened so much earlier. And it should have been so much smoother.
We're here with Aretha Bridgewater Sims, and congratulations on your induction into the Maryland Women's Hall of Fame,
Thank
2016. It must be very exciting for you and your family.
It's very exciting.
Good. So tell me, how did you get here? Well, tell us a little bit more about your life and your career. And
It's a long journey. And I think that, and I have been here for some of the ceremonies in the
Oh, great.
past. Never thought I would be a recipient. But I have a long history of growing up in Louisville, Kentucky, where the opportunities were really few. And so I grew up knowing that I had to get myself together to get the career that I wanted. There were not many role models that I could really think about at the time because we didn't see.
And I'm thrilled today to be talking with Jill Tejan, and she's the CEO of the National Women's Hall of Fame, which is exciting because we're here in Annapolis right now at the Maryland Women's Hall of Fame. But she's here to talk about Gail DePlanck. So Jill, thank you so much for being here, and tell us all about Gail and why you nominated her.
Well, it was really my privilege to know Gail DePlanck. In 1997, she chaired a committee of the National Academy of Engineering. It was called the Steering Committee for the Celebration of Women in Engineering. And the reason she chaired it was because she was a member of the National Academy of Engineering. There are not very many women that are members of the National Academy. She was incredibly well respected. It's actually engineering's highest honor.
Oh my.
To be elected to the National Academy of Engineering. She was a PhD.
And my guest today is Dr. Catherine Guerra. Welcome, Catherine.
I'm glad to be here, thank you.
Thank you. You have quite a Herstory, and you have quite a lot of experience as an educator, as an advocate, and as an activist in your community. Can you tell us kind of how you got started in that, what your educational background was, or your family? What got you started into your very prominent career and as an inductee into the Maryland Women's Hall of Fame? So you've been a busy woman.
Well, I think in terms of my career, it started when I was 4 years old. If my parents are correct in remembering, apparently I like to accumulate dolls. But I started at the age of 4, lining them up and teaching them.
Oh, getting them in order, yes, of course.
So I was a teacher from probably prenatal stage. In any event, I was a teacher all of my life, and after I graduated with my baccalaureate degree, taught at Catonsville High School. Taught high school for 6 years, loved it. Then I went on and eventually get my doctorate and did my work on Shakespeare and taught at the university level before I went into administration. But some of those high school students who are now in their 70s invite me back to their 50th reunions.
Very nice.
And so, as I said, it's one of those long-lasting, gratifying careers.
I got my first DDS degrees in Greece. Then I came here for postgraduate training. I finished my postgraduate training in pediatric dentistry. And then they told me, congratulations, you cannot work, practice.
You could not practice because the licensure was different
That's right.
from Greece to
No,
the
yeah,
U.S.?
that's right. So I had to repeat dental school. And I repeated at the University of Toronto. And then I came down to Baltimore.
Sure. Now, when you were in Greece and wanted to be a dentist in Greece, it was a couple of years ago. But
Yes.
were there very many women dentists then?
50%.
50%. Ah, so your percentage in Greece was much higher
Yes,
here
yes.
than at that time. And how did you
Much
choose
higher.
to be a dentist? I mean, and especially for pediatrics, for children?
Well, it was between a physician and a dentist. And my father insisted I should be a dentist because I could have my office next to my house.
Oh.
So as a woman, I don't have to go out of my house.
Really? And that was part of a little bit of the Greek culture?
Was the Greek culture, yes.
Yeah. Was your dad a dentist?
No.
Or your mother?
No, none of them. None of them was a dentist.
So you were the first in your family?
And that's my family, yes. My brother is a sea captain. My sister was a representative of Greece to the common market.
So you have a very talented family as well as
I
yourself.
work hard for it.
We work hard for it.
Probably could tell from my accent. I was born and grew up in Cape Town, South Africa. And I have to say that I had a very good role model in my mother, who was a lawyer at that time when it was not very many women did law. And my grandmother, who really did not have an education but believed very strongly that women should be educated. And so I've always sort of kept that in my mind, you know, as I've made choices along the way. And so when I came, my whole family moved to the US in 1978. And I moved with them and wanted to continue. I had my bachelor's degree in economics and statistics from University of Cape Town, and then I wanted to continue my education in the US, and I applied to the only universities I had heard of from South Africa, but I ended up going to Princeton, which was a fantastic experience.